How do you relate to life? Are you taking responsibility to move your life forward? And are you taking responsibility for your inner state? This episode is about your relationship with life. You're listening to Pure Light, where we explore how you can believe in yourself and be happy with who you are so that you feel worthy of your craziest dreams and confident in your power to make them happen. My name is Ailey. I'm a coach, writer, and Kundalini yoga and meditation teacher. This is episode 101. In the last episode, I touched on one of the things that contributes to how you feel about your life, like whether you're excited about it or not. And I wanted to expand on that because I think it really ultimately comes down to two main things or two buckets that we can look at. So there's the internal piece, and then there's also the external piece. And I'm going to talk about both of them, starting with the external. So there are many things in life that are beyond our control. But when you think about the bigger picture of your life and where you're going, do you think that life is happening to you? Or are you the one creating it? Like, what is that driving force? Is it you? Are you the one in the driver's seat deciding where to go and when to hit the gas? If you think about this in terms of like a spectrum, so at one end, you're kind of waiting. You're waiting for something to change or for someone else to do something or make a decision, or maybe just to feel different before doing something. So more confident, or even just being in the mood. You're just kind of sitting around hoping things will happen, but not really taking real action. And it's funny too, because the thing that you might be waiting on is like God or the universe or whatever you call that creative force. And so at this end of the spectrum, you probably feel stuck and stagnant. And there might be a sense of safety because you're sticking with what you know. There's that comfort from knowing what's coming, even though it may not be what you actually want. And then at the other end of the spectrum for this, you are actively creating your life. So you're co-creating it with the universe. You're being proactive. You're looking at what you want and deciding to go after it. So to think about how you relate to life in this way, in terms of that external driving force, do you know what you want? Like, are you defining success on your own terms? And then are you actively taking steps in that direction? Are you taking responsibility to move your life forward? Or do you always have a good reason to delay and procrastinate? So this is really about power and using your power to create the life that you want, to create the difference that you want, and to move your life forward. And there's an Oprah quote that I'm going to share with you because I think this sums it up really nicely. It's something that I've watched on repeat at points in my life, and I'll put a link to it in the show notes if you want to watch her on the video. You can find that at purelightpodcast.com. But here's the quote. You are responsible for your life. And if you're sitting around waiting on somebody to save you, to fix you, to even help you, you're wasting your time. Because only you have the power to take responsibility to move your life forward. And the sooner you get that, the sooner your life gets into gear. So the question is, are you taking that responsibility to move your life forward? So that's the external part, or the part that's focused on the external results of how you relate to life. And then for the second part of this, how you relate to life, the internal, the question is, are you taking responsibility for your inner state? So there's a couple of parts to this. There's the mental piece. So are you taking responsibility for what's going on in your mind? So for your thoughts and your beliefs, are you able to notice them and decide how you want to deal with them? And then there's also the emotional piece. So do you take responsibility for your feelings? Are you processing them and using them as guidance? Or do you tend to ignore them or numb them or blame them on things outside of you, like other people or circumstances? Taking responsibility for your inner experience is the only way that you can start to change it and start down the path towards inner peace. I talked about this in a previous episode called The First Step Towards Inner Peace. So if you want to listen to that, go back to that episode. And there's another part of how you relate to life internally too, which is presence, because that has to do with how you show up, both mentally and emotionally. Like, what is that state that you're in? How do you show up in each moment? Is it with resistance and negativity and dread? Or is it with an openness that welcomes exactly what's here? So what is your state of being? And are you taking responsibility for that? Eckhart Tolle was talking to Oprah about the question, what is my relationship with life? And he said, the present moment is your life. Once you've made the present moment into your friend through openness and acceptance, your actions will be inspired, intelligent, and empowered, because the power of life itself will be flowing through you. In other words, there's a connection between your inner state and forward momentum. Your inner state is reflective of how much you allow yourself to be aligned with the creative power of the universe, and how much you allow the power of life to flow through you. I'm going to be talking in more detail about some of the things I've touched on here in upcoming episodes, like power and decision-making and defining success for yourself, which all have to do with taking responsibility for your life. And I'll also have some episodes on taking responsibility for your inner state. So if you enjoyed this and want to hear those, subscribe to Pure Light wherever you listen to podcasts. And while you're there, leave a review because that'll help other people find this. If you like this, you would also probably like the emails I send out every Sunday. So every Sunday, I send out strategies and perspectives to help you trust yourself to move your life forward, to stop overthinking and be brave. And when you sign up, there are a couple of tools in the intro series of emails to help you take responsibility for moving forward, so that you can do that without resistance and with excitement and enthusiasm. If you'd like to get those in your inbox, go to purelightpodcast.com, click on the button that says Get Self-Love Strategies, and sign up with your name and email. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, may you be guided by your light.